No bound, no bound, no bound, no bound, no bound, no boundary, no bound, no bound, no bound, no boundary, no boundary, no boundary, no boundary, no boundaries,
Go, 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 go.
Well, greetings and salutations, good people. Welcome, No
What
Boundaries
up? What
Crew up
up?
in
What
here.
up?
What up, fellas? How's everybody?
What's
Everybody,
good,
I'm good. How
man?
you doing?
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Happy to see you, brothers.
You as
Yes,
well,
sir, man.
man.
You too, man. You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, No Boundaries Crew, JMO. The fellas are up in here. Zai, Juan Fuego, Big Pee Wee. As always, we always try to come and bring you a good show. And in us bringing a good show, we got some good topics that we're going to get into tonight. Um, um, we kind of give you guys a little baseball talk. This is behind the scenes baseball talk. Uh,
Right.
we got like a little chat that we have going on. And in the chat, we send each other video clips and stuff like that. And we kind of pick on what videos we're going to talk about in the show. So hopefully tonight, the clips that you guys see in the discussion we get into, hopefully you guys enjoy it, man. Um,
Perfect.
I know the other day was Mother's Day, so
Yes,
happy
sir.
Mother's Day to all the mothers
Yes,
that are out
yes.
there.
Happy Monday, man. Definitely. Happy birthday. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. I said happy birthday. Happy Mother's Day, Mama, and to my wife and all my aunties and cousins. You know what I mean? Happy Mother's Day to y'all.
all
For
the
real.
ladies who represent motherhood out there in whatever form, right? Happy belated Mother's Day to you.
Yeah, I
Absolutely,
like it.
man. Uh, well, I mean, what's going on, fellas? Before we get the show started, what's going on? What's happening? What's Gucci? What's popping? What's percolating?
Man, I'm just living, bro. Just trying to, maintain and keep things together, man. That's it.
I'm just glad that homie could join us today because he probably flew in from Dubai this morning. You know what I'm saying? He might be there now. I mean, he got the background, who knows?
Uh,
You know what I'm saying? We don't know where he at. You know what I'm
nah.
saying?
I'm
We don't know
home.
where
I'm
he at.
home.
I'm blurring
Home.
out TVs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm home, man. Glad to be here. I've been traveling a little bit this month, a whole lot. So yeah, just glad to be home.
Look at that guy
What about you,
stamping
P? What about
passport.
you, P? What about you, P? You good?
Oh, I'm wonderful, man. You know what I'm saying? I got no complaints, you know. And if I did, hey, man, we we gonna get through them anyway, no matter what.
That's right. That's
No,
right.
no
You
doubt.
know?
No doubt. No doubt.
All right, ladies and gents. Welcome to the No Boundaries, Just My Opinion, JMO. We're gonna get the show started, man. We're gonna get this hour on the way. Now, before we get the show popping, please do us a favor. If you are following us on Instagram, please do so. Uh, It is no boundaries underscore JMO. Uh, on Twitch, YouTube, please make sure that you guys follow us. You get notified every time we do go live. You get notified when we post stuff and all that good stuff, man. So you can tap in with the No Boundaries crew. So please make sure you hit that follow button on all platforms. All right.
Yes, sir.
Um.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. I wanted to start the show off with something that I feel is very interesting.
All
And when I
right.
say interesting, on the end of um, what big media is not reporting on, but
Okay.
this is something that is happening.
Okay.
And you see that they point the finger at one demographic, but not talking about the other demographic that is doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Bad, wrong video. Hold on. I
Hey,
hit the wrong.
I would have that would have worked too. That would have
Yeah,
worked
that'll work
too.
too. We'll get into that too. All right.
Yeah, that would have
Wait a
worked.
minute. Oh, here it is. My bad. Here we go.
A growing number of Chinese migrants are crossing into the United States from Mexico without visas, taking irregular overland routes across Latin America. Over the course of 3 weeks, Reuters witnessed hundreds of Chinese nationals along an isolated border stretch in southeastern Texas. Reuters interviewed more than 24 of them. All of those interviewed said they got the idea to take the land route on social media and drew on influencers, private groups, and comments to plan their trips.
The people here, the police here, I think they are very kind, and that's the America in my head.
So, did you guys know this? That you have Chinese coming through the borders of Mexico?
Listen, I had no idea that this was happening. But the craziest part is how they're making it so dramatic, like like they're different um, than our Mexican brothers, trying to get over here. So like, I'm confused because they both trying to get over here. So why is theirs seem like it's more like listen, they decided to do this and influencers and all that, but everybody else, it's like, don't let them in. Maybe I'm taking it the wrong way. How you see it, homie?
Well, first of all, where they coming from? Like, is that many Chinese in Mexico?
No, I think they going from China to Mexico to get into the U.S.
Yeah. So, well, I was really going to say something like, are they really sure this is where they want to come? But they're not going to get the same treatment as, our Mexican brothers or us, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, facts.
yeah, I mean, you don't see them getting rounded up. You don't see no prevalent talks about a wall to prevent them from coming in. Um, yeah, I mean, black and brown, we get the double standard, right? We're the lower class. I think I said a few weeks ago, that pretty soon, we've always been considered second class. We're gonna be like fourth or fifth coming up here really soon.
That
And
is
then
fact.
what is that gonna mean for us,
And
right?
yeah. Right.
I mean, and
And
that's the
my thing
reason
is, a lot
why
of the
I
people that
played
are
the
over
clip.
here. Mhm.
Go ahead, Z.
Go ahead, P. No, you good. You good. Go ahead.
That is one of the reasons why I played the clip, because a lot of folks don't know that this is happening.
Right.
Big mainstream media
Right.
is not reporting on this, even though this is something that is happening, right? The mainstream media is giving you the video clips of Mexicans trying to cross the borders with family, kids, and stuff like that. But they're not showing other ethnicities.
at
Chinese are
all.
not the only ones that are coming through Mexico and trying to
Right.
come through the U.S.
Right.
I mean, the way things are right now, when you really kind of look at it, like, and this is just me, if you're coming, if you go from China to Mexico, you need to seek asylum in Mexico first. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the first stop. That's your first stop is
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Right,
You should seek
Right.
asylum there to come into the United States
right.
instead of trying to sneak into the U.S. and then seek asylum.
I would
Yeah,
like to. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to look that up because that's interesting to see how, are they staying in Mexico for a while and then trying to come, or is it like Juan is saying they're literally going from China to Mexico to get in, you know? But that's interesting that we don't hear about that at all. Like I've never seen anything like that on the news at all.
yeah. This is news to me. This is the first that I've seen, and
Yeah.
yeah, this is very eye opening, right? I mean, it's
Right. Those are probably the Chinese brothers that don't have no money. They don't have no money.
Nah, I mean, it could be, and I kind of piggyback off of what Juan said. As if you're Russian, um, Irish, Italian, anything along the ends of being in the white like lane, it's easy to get a visa and easy for you to get into the United States. Um,
Yeah.
the U.S. has worked it up, and I had asked someone this the other day. I said, "This, you realize like this conversation of the Mexican border and the U.S. If I'm not mistaken, goes all the way back to the late 1800s.
mm,
Mhm.
mm,
So we've been having this discussion between Mexico and the United States. It's either late 1800s or it was like 19 around like 1920 something when it was somewhere around up in there. So we've been having this conversation ain't a new conversation
right,
and still
right.
Yeah,
nothing
that's
has
wow.
gotten done, right?
Right.
And you've had every president from, and let's just say from 1900, president from 1900 to 2023 still hasn't gotten it done. We're still holding the
Right.
same conversation.
Yeah,
And you know what's funny? I look at Florida, and I think that they had saw something on the news where they were saying how undocumented workers weren't going to be able to work, and they were saying how many buildings and things wouldn't get finished because of the amount we're getting paid. No jobs. Nobody is doing those jobs at the rate that these, immigrants and stuff,
right, right,
undocumented
right.
workers were going to be doing those work. And when you do that, you think you're hurting them, but you're hurting yourself. Um, and it's just the
Shooting yourself
reality
in the
of
foot.
how many black people are going to take those jobs at that rate. How many white people are going to take the jobs at those rate? They're able to do that and get those jobs done because those, immigrants, I don't want to call us those people, but immigrants will take less because they needed more.
Right, right. No, excuse me. 100%. I agree with you 100%. It's really sad to see, you know, just it happening. Period. And then they cross the border, right? Now what?
Mhm.
Now what? Right? I mean, there's no place for them to go. There's no place for them to sleep. There's no. I mean, what are they gonna do when they get over here?
Right.
Initially,
And
right? I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure that they'll figure it out, but initially, what are they gonna do? Where they gonna go? So you got all these people
yeah,
crossing the border, those that get through. Now you have these other cities, towns, or whatever, inundated with enormous amount of people, um, with no jobs, and then it gets to the point where because they have no jobs, no means to do anything, and when you hungry and you don't have
Right,
nothing,
right,
you got to
right,
resort to
right.
taking,
Excuse me. And
right, just to
see and
survive.
right, and homie, that's why when Trump said what he said um, about rapists, murders, and all this stuff, that's happening regardless. We got
Right.
people in our own country who are not immigrants, who are homeless, starving, who are going through, and it bothers me even with this administration, but with every administration, how we can seek to give everybody this love and money and stuff. We got homeless stuff going on right now in our own communities. And I have yet to see in my 42 years of living, like things really improve. It's, well, I was about to get in trouble what I was about to say, but I ain't gonna say that. But you hear about all these funds and all this stuff that's gonna happen and nothing ever happens. So
Right.
it's like, when is that going to happen before we start sending our money to other countries and start helping them out? And we got people here in the U.S. that are starving. I'm talking about regular people with jobs, from the homeless people to the mental health, all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I had this
Sure.
conversation the other day with somebody, and I'm asking this question off of what you just said, Z.
Mhm.
We have homelessness here in the United States. We have poverty in the United States. You even have kids out here starving on the streets. You
Mhm.
have um, mass murders going just like what you said, Juan. You got people killing one another just to survive. They taken.
Yeah.
So here's my question: what makes the United States not a third world country?
Mhm.
The portrayal that the media gives. That's
Mhm.
all. It's the portrayal that the media gives. It's what we make ourselves look like. Oh, we're this and we're that. No, we're not, bro. You just said something that it was like you said kids that are starving out on the street. So you guys know, but my daughter is a first grade teacher in Texas. And she called one day and she was like, "Yeah, I was a little upset today because the kids were going through the line and the kid had his lunch tray and he was getting ready to go sit down and eat and they came and took it away from him." I was like, "Why did they take the
Mhm.
tray away from him?" Right? Because the parents hadn't paid up his lunch meal or whatever, right? And they had
Come
been
on,
trying to get in
man.
touch with him or whatever. Um, and they hadn't gotten in touch with him. So they went and they took the kid's lunch. Where you do that at? This is a
Right, right,
kid.
right, right,
Swear, man.
right,
This is a
right,
kid, bro. Like,
right.
where do you do that? So she was like, "You know what? I'll just go to my car and get some money and I'll pay for his lunch." And then we'll so she
For
went
sure.
to the car. Then she called the parent, right? And she was like, "They're trying to get in touch
That's
with
right.
you. They took he was like, "Okay, I'll call right now. I'll call right now." Well, then he called and he put the money on there, but they said it would take 2 hours for it to post on the account. And they wasn't
Let
gonna
me
give
tell
the
you
kid.
something, Juan. I'm sorry to cut you off, but them those meals are literally like $4, bro. Like
If
they
that.
the government, the US, the school districts pay. I just did a project on this for a class. I'm telling you, like breakfast, it's between $3 and $5 for these breakfasts, bro. And you're telling me that you're gonna take that away from a kid? That's not coming out of your pocket, bro. That's not coming out of
Yeah,
your paycheck
kid,
for
bro.
you to do
I
that
just
to a kid. Yeah, I'm sorry, Juan. I'll let you finish.
no, no,
Go ahead and
no, no,
finish.
no. I'm just no, I was finished. It's just it bothers me when things like this are done to kids, right? Whatever the situation with the parent, you can work that out down the line. You don't
Right,
mistreat the
right,
kid.
right,
Now,
right,
not only did you take the, the,
right.
the tray away from the kid where the kid don't eat, look how you made this kid look in front of all the other kids,
That's
Yes,
the first
yes,
thing I thought,
yes,
Juan.
right?
yes.
It's just not
It's
right,
and
bro.
and
It's not right.
woo, you want to talk about that? let's go there. Why we aren't a third world country is because of the U.S. dollar right now, right? And number two, because of our military. We spend billions of dollars on our military, bro. Me being a veteran, I know that there's ships out there in the sea right now on the east and the west coast protecting us. So stuff don't just happen like that. So that's why we aren't a third world country. Uh, that's why I love when people say we don't need the military and stuff like that. And it's like, now I wasn't the gun ho like USA stuff like that at all. But there is a pride once you get into it and you've done it. There is a pride that comes with that, right? But on the flip side of that, when you have people that say we don't need the military, if you take them people off that ocean, dog, you take these people off these bases, we would be just like other countries, and people would be bombing us like today, like
Yeah.
right now. We would be
Oh,
living
absolutely.
just like everybody else. Attacks happening over and over again. So when I hear that logic of we don't need the military or even the police for that matter, like let's really think about that. You know what I mean? Like it sounds, oh, we don't need them. Okay, you go ahead and
Well,
try to
but
live without the military
and,
and
and and
police.
but see that brings up another issue for me as well, right? How do you treat your veterans the way that you treat your veterans?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
You have no regard
Right,
drafting them, putting them on the
right.
front line, and then when they
Yeah.
come back with PTSD and all kind of other issues and problems and concerns, come back injured.
Come
Man,
on,
there's
man.
so many veterans that are homeless. How does that happen? If you don't do,
Right, right,
and you can't tell me you don't have the money, because
right,
where's all this lottery money going? Even when you hit the lotto, you don't get the full amount that you hit for, right?
right,
So
right,
where's that money?
right. Well, I'll tell you this
It ain't
one.
going to the schools. It
It
ain't.
was just it ain't
Well,
yeah.
that's
It was just the
where it's
Republicans that
supposed
voted
to go,
to cut the
Juan.
funding for veterans. Right.
Well, I'm sorry, Z, but just to answer Juan's question, like the lottery, it was positioned to give back to the schools. You're 100% correct.
Mm,
You don't see the money. You don't. Like
mm,
At
public
all.
schools
mm.
shouldn't be the way that they are right now. If you were having super lottery hitting close to $500 million.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
Now
it
I'm
just
with
don't
you,
make sense.
100.
It don't make sense.
That's great.
And Z, I'm with you.
That's wild.
It's the propaganda on the end that they portray that we stand up for our military. We love our military. But at the end of the day, you 100% correct. When these son of a guns come home, man, they throw them out like trash. They make it hard for them,
And
go
and,
to the
and, I,
VA
and I will
hospital,
tell
get
you, right. Right, right.
Go
I
ahead.
will tell you, it's different
no.
than it was back in the day. As far as our black men coming home and having to, you fighting against these foreign enemies, and then you come home and they treating you like you're nothing. So I can agree with you that, but still today, I don't think it's necessarily that, but there are things as far as medical and homelessness
Yeah.
and things like that are definitely affecting people to this day. Are there programs and things like that? Yeah, but when you have people that don't have records and things like that, it makes it extremely difficult. But it's not hard to see if you were in the military. I just did I think I applied for something and they said, well, you a veteran, and they had me fill out this stuff, and they said, oh, okay. So it's not hard to do this stuff. It's like you just made it super difficult. And the same people that are making you stand every day for the Pledge of Allegiance. These are the people that are swearing by the American flag, driving with these big ass trucks with the American flag bigger than the damn truck, waving, but you don't want to support the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's real life fake patriots, bro. Like I always say, when you want to talk about standing for the flag and things like that, don't tell me about. I want to know what you did. When these people tell me how great this country is and all this stuff, what have you done for your country?
Right.
And my thing is, the greatest thing you could do is serve. Again, I didn't serve for no big old patriotic type stuff. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna lie to you at all. However, I served though. So now, when you come into me with this stuff, I'm thinking, don't tell me about your grandpa. Don't tell me about your
Right.
daddy. Tell me about you and what you
Right.
have done for this country. And most of them can't tell you nothing, but they want to call themselves patriots. So
Right.
yeah,
But that's hard facts right there, Z. You know, to serve for the country, and literally, depending on what you go in for,
yeah,
like you are, you're literally putting your life on the line for a whole bunch of people that you don't know from night or day. You putting your
at all.
life on the line for these people so other people can have the freedoms that here
Right,
in the United States, like that's what they do.
right,
Yeah.
right, for sure. But
And
that's
then
I
them
think that
same
answers your
people.
question, Pete. That's why we aren't a third world country.
And and that's why I asked the question is because if you like you say Z, it's the American dollar and it's the military. So that's the only two things that's keeping us from being a third world country. Because everything
Yeah,
else is looking kind of close
it's
here.
wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
Listen, if you think about it, if you really think about it, think when COVID hit and the pandemic hit, how people were going crazy when they were like, it's shutting down. Stores were everything was being bought. People were buying everything from the stores. People were buying guns and ammo. They thought the world was coming to an end, dog. Like, how? So when you say that we are that close or what's keeping us from it, bro, it ain't that much.
Right.
It's literally not that much, dog. For real. If they throw on the news that it's going to listen, people gonna lose their mind, dog.
You're
For
right.
real. For real.
So now I'm gonna get back to the other clip that I accidentally played earlier
With the fake patriots.
with the fake patriots. Thank you, Z.
Ballers!
I
Not
find that
one of them.
very interesting.
Not one of them showing their eyes. Not one of them got every last one of them got on gators.
Hey,
You got the police escorting
homie,
them.
homie,
Uh,
homie.
what?
Hey, all I saw was some dude. All I saw was the mask was the new hood.
Yeah. Well, you didn't notice on the flag it had the
That's all I.
K's on both
That's
sides.
all I thought.
You didn't see
Listen
that
to me.
though.
I ain't even see that,
Wait,
and
you said what,
I ain't
Ron?
even
It
see
was
that,
what?
On the
and
flag, when right when you started, that flag that comes on that white flag, it got K's on both sides of them.
Hold up, Juan. Let me play this again.
that had
I didn't
K's.
see this.
Ballers!
Ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha
Hey,
ha.
hey, and the funny thing is, it make it look like it's just enclosing the
Yeah,
words,
like
so it
like
looks
it's
like
a
it's just fitting
design or
in.
something. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. But watch this.
Yeah.
Look how much the fake. When I say fake patriotism or fake patriots, I really mean it. Look at them. They playing the drum like they marching somewhere. They got they trying to be his lines. One of them say keep it tight. You have to know what no idea how to keep a straight line. So that means they have no military experience at all. But it's just funny to see that. And literally, if you ask them what they do, it'll probably just be like the KKK. And they are dentists, lawyers, uh, school teachers, regular dudes out there living out their fantasies of what they say, what it said, make America great, or family, and all this bullshit. Sorry.
Reclaim America. Reclaim it from what?
Reclaim.
You already got it.
Exactly.
Like what are you reclaiming?
Come on, man. I saw a meme. Oh, I'm getting in trouble today. I saw a meme. Well, not even a meme. It was a guy. He was saying if you can get poor white people to believe that they have an enemy that isn't rich white people making money off of you. This is what you get. This is what you get when you give this rhetoric and this stuff of we losing our country to poor white people who you not winning nowhere. You just like regular people.
Right.
You just like the poor people or the people that are being oppressed every day. But if I could uplift you to think that you better than them, this is what you get. This is what you get. They're taking your jobs.
I'm still trying to figure
They're
out what they're
taking
trying
your
to blame though.
I just find it interesting on
know.
Mother's Day. They marched on Mother's Day on Capitol Hill. You pick Mother's Day to do
But
this?
watch this. Watch hey, watch the irony. You talk about the family structure, but you leaving your mama and your kids at home to go march.
I'm lost.
Help me understand. It's
Like-
funny, man.
Like
It's
this is
funny.
bananas to me, man. And I when I look at the clip, first thing that I get is if you guys are so proud and everything, why are you covering your faces?
Right.
Come on, man.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
Right.
Facts. Why?
Because
That's the
Number one
first-
question. If you're so
Second
proud,
thing-
why are you hiding your face?
Yeah. Second thing is you have police officers that's there that's riding on bikes, walking side by side with them, so make sure nobody bothers them, keep the peace or whatever. Now, if we flip the script and it's black people, brown people walking, doing the same exact thing, police officers are going to stop them, try to do whatever they can do to cause some conflict between the two.
Right.
Right. And I will say
So
this
then
to
it
play
becomes the
devil's
news
advocate.
story.
Right. To
Then
play
it becomes
devil's
the
advocate,
news
they
story
could have
that everybody gets the clickbait off of.
right. Well, to be devil's advocate, they could have actually did the paperwork and everything like that to have that march. Does that make sense? So when you do it that way, of course, now you might have that access to the now. I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is if it was black or brown, I made it difficult. We don't know that. When I did the Black Lives Matter protest in Carson, like we did have streets were sheriff's escort, you know what I mean? So that could have been that issue with that. I will say that.
Here's the problem. If it was black or brown, they wouldn't have got the permit.
No, and that's what I'm saying. No, I agree with you. No, I agree. With
They
you.
wouldn't have got the permit.
Yeah.
So the answer would have been no. You can't do
not
it.
at the Capitol.
I mean,
Yeah.
we don't want to pay overtime for Mother's Day for the cops to be out there with you.
For Mother's Day, bro. Family,
Yeah, so-
family.
And I didn't. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to remember at the end of the clip when all the police officers were on the bikes. Was it any black police officers out there?
I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Listen,
But
listen.
Here's the thing, though, Juan Z. In any videos that you've ever seen, any clips you've ever seen of white supremacists, KKK, any of them marching,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever seen the police officers get involved?
No, not at all.
Mm.
Not at all.
So that's my point. You've never seen it happen where there's a conflict. There's and goes back to, okay, and I'm gonna just paint. I don't know if this has ever happened, but I'm gonna just paint the picture, right? And you asked, was there any black police officers out there? Now, these white supremacists, more than I ain't like black people, right?
Right.
So if a black officer was there and they said something to him, I'm just asking a question to you two. Do you think the police officers are going to come to the aid of that black police officer or to protect?
Right.
That's all. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
asking
No,
questions.
that's that's a great question. And I can only talk from my experience, like at the march that I went to. Of course, they had Latino cops, black cops, white cops out there. Um, but for me, it's a no matter what you are, you have a job to do. You know what I mean? Now, if somebody would have disrespected one of the white cops or whatever, who knows what would have happened? I would assume that those cops would have came to their aid. And but this situation, I mean, I have no idea. I don't know if one of them white dudes would have accosted a black cop with all the other cops back him up or take somebody's side. I would hope that they would take his side. Yeah, I would just hope. I'm just saying. Yeah,
I think they would let it get. I,
because if
I
not,
think they. I
because
think
if
they would
not,
let it get to it.
I need that fade when we get back to the station.
Well, yeah, if you're able to give a fade when you get back to the station, that's number one. But I think that they would let it go
Yeah,
to a certain point, right? You know, um, he'd get roughed up some though. He'd
that's
take a couple of licks.
crazy.
Yeah, he'd take a couple of
That's
licks.
wild to think, dude. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
crazy.
it's a serious question to
No,
ask.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
and
it. Yeah,
you know what the sad part about the question is that you even have to ask.
right,
That's
Facts.
the sad part.
right. Yeah,
That it's even a question.
definitely.
Like that's the sad part. They don't even.
Right.
You know, the blue shield only goes so far.
Hey, time out. Did you see them dudes? They was holding shields like they was in medieval
Yeah,
times, too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they was
yeah, yeah,
cops or something
yeah.
with the shields. They was and somebody and see this is the trash thought that somebody would have. Just they was just preparing themselves just in case. Just in case what, dog? If this is supposed to be a peaceful march, why you got batons and why you got shield? What are you on right now?
Right.
What are you on?
You know this
That don't
crazy
look
thing
peaceful
too.
to me.
You know what the crazy thing is too. Like I'm not really deep into politics and all of that like that. Kim is. She's on top of all of that stuff. So I asked her the other day. I said, "So who's the Republican candidates besides Trump?" And she was
Mhm.
like, "DeSantos." I said, "Wait a
Yeah,
minute. So the
yeah.
Republicans, it's either going to be DeSantos or Trump?
Listen,
Are
listen.
you
Hey,
serious right
I'm
now?"
tell brother the fireplace next to him in Australia, my dude.
Bro, that's crazy.
We have this thing. We,
I
we
mean,
have it.
look on the flip side, though, Juan. Who on the Democratic side?
I don't even know. Like I don't know who would want to
Facts.
run against them, but it's
Facts.
it's almost like
Yeah. Yeah.
when you pick your poison, I still would rather pick my poison with Biden.
I mean, Biden said he's going to run again. Um,
Facts.
but when you
Listen.
you
Yeah.
look at you look at how Biden has ran this country, and you have people from all over is not feeling his vibe right now. So it doesn't look like he may get a second term.
But okay. But when you really look at it, right? Is it Biden that they're not feeling the vibe, or is it Biden's age, right? And he got a black woman as the vice president, and something happened to Biden, they definitely don't want her in there.
I
Well,
honestly
well,
don't
well, I'll
want.
tell you this
I'm
though,
a,
want
I say this one,
no, I was gonna
just on
say,
the end.
oh, go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead, P.
I just say at the end of the day, those were
P.
the same concerns when he was running. Those
Yeah,
her
Yeah,
being the same concerns. His age was a concern. If he passes away, she becomes president. Those same concerns were there when he was running for the presidency. There's a lot of things that has gone on during his presidency that a lot of folks don't like. The fact that it's extremely expensive right now underneath his administration. Gas is expensive. Groceries are expensive. Like
well,
everything is at an all-time high right now. People are not feeling this. Your average Joe that's going to work and just trying to put food on the table is out here struggling because of this administration.
I hear
Well,
you.
well, I'll tell you this, Pete. I'll tell you this. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's the majority of the things that we see is that people can't understand why these things are happening. Um, if you understand and really do the knowledge and do the math on why the gas prices are so high, you'll understand. Like I think that we just see gas prices going up and we like, oh God, it's Biden. But how is it Biden when California is higher than Texas? What's the difference in the gas? It's the same gas, ain't it? So why is Texas cheaper than LA? You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense to y'all.
No,
No,
you
I
making
hear
sense.
you.
Absolutely. But
Right,
here, I'm
right.
gonna
So
counter
so
that
I
real
don't think
quick,
it's
Z.
necessarily okay, but I don't think it's necessarily a Biden thing versus a local government, not local government, but a state government or mandate type
Oh,
thing. Go
absolutely.
ahead. Right,
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll
right,
counter that.
right.
I'll counter that, right? Um,
Please. I like it.
now I forgot what I was gonna say to you. uh,
I got your
oh,
ass.
that's what I was gonna say. But okay, so I'm gonna counter that. And I'm gonna say the average Joe, the person that is focused upon going to work, trying to provide for the family. I just think the last thing on their plate is trying to do the research and trying to find out why gas is high.
Okay.
But
No,
but
and
but
I
here,
understand that.
here's my question, right? Here's
Go
my
ahead.
question, right? And I get what you're saying. He's the president right now. It's on his watch or whatever, right? Okay, fine and dandy. But wasn't the gas high when Trump was in office as well, right?
Thank you.
So
Thank
and
you.
who did he blame it on? He said it was
Thank
Obama's
you.
fault. So are you telling me
What?
now that it's not Trump's fault? So you mean to tell me
Come on
you're
now.
just going to dump it all on Biden when you didn't dump it all on Trump? And that's where I
Come
have a
on, homie.
problem.
Listen, this is the
Right? That's
craziest
where I have
part.
a problem. You
This is
can't
the
tell me, you
craziest
can't
part,
sit up here
homie.
and tell me that it's Biden's fault that all of this is happening. I also know that the my understanding is the unemployment rate is as low as it's been in I don't know how long. Is that Biden fault
Mhm.
too? But you don't say
No, no,
nothing
no.
about that.
They'll give it to Trump. See, but this is the part. All the good stuff they'll say it was
Right.
because Trump set it
So
up.
you don't
All the
come to me
if it's
about
bad, they're gonna say no, this is
yeah.
just him. It's
You know,
called repercussions. Every president there's some things that he's gonna take on, and there's some things that he might get better. There's some things that he might do worse. But it's like that's like perfect example. That's like getting in a relationship with a girl. Of course, it's fresh. Oh my God, baby, I love you. But there's some stuff that she, in her mind, is thinking about what the last dude did.
right.
No matter how good you are, she gonna find something. You do something, she gonna be like, he did that, or start blaming you for something somebody else did. What's the difference? That's what happens. That's what happens in all of this stuff, and that's why I be telling Pee Wee on the side when we have our conversation and everybody. If you think that any of these parties, Democrat, Republican, liberal, whatever you subscribe to,
Tea
if
Party.
you
Let's
think
go,
any
Leah.
of them for you, then you are batshit crazy. You're crazy. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You ain't your Tea Party. You crazy. Okay. But for real, I think if you thinking that you're gonna get everything out of any party, you're trash. I think the best thing to do is try to vote in your interests and let that be it. But the drama that we have with the parties of blame and shift and all this stuff, it's like so now when Trump gets in, this is what I'll say. If Trump gets in, the first 2 years is gonna be a blame game. And
Right.
his people are gonna be like, just give him a chance to fix it. You gotta give him a chance to fix it. What, we couldn't do that for Biden? We're not doing that with Biden. We're not gonna give him a chance to fix stuff and make it work, or see the game plan, or see what's in the works and see what he's trying to do. But we don't do that. We're not gonna do the research. We're just gonna take it. Why are we sending all this money over there? Now, I think it's trash too that we send money over there. I'm just speaking hypothetically, but we're just gonna say that instead of looking and seeing how my thing is this. I told somebody this the other day. If you don't think that we're giving money to these countries because it benefits us, it benefits the
Right.
U.S. in a way to
Oh,
help Ukraine.
absolutely.
It benefits
I
us
mean,
to have
Ukraine
bases in
has
Japan
oil.
and all these other places. It's the reason why there's a U.S. base in all of these countries, because they benefit us. You know what I mean? So if you think that that's bad, then something ain't right.
Well, not only
Oh,
that, when the rubber meets the road, who's the first person that they turn to when they need help? When they need military support. They looking for us as allies because they know we gonna throw ours in there, and damn, what happened to you? You go over there and you fight, and then when it's time for you to come home, go on Figueroa and Century and just lay on the street.
Figueroa. Why they gotta
but
go to
but that's why
I'm saying, man,
when we were
it's
talking
sad.
about the border earlier, right?
Mhm.
Saying that from the 1900s until 2023, we still having this same discussion about the border.
Right.
It's always the Democrats versus the Republicans. It's the back and forth and stuff like that. Nothing ever gets fixed. And that's
Right.
where the game is being played, is because it's coming at the expense of the average person. It's just trying to go to work, just trying to make it by, keep a roof over their head, food on the table. You know what I'm saying? It's at the expense of them.
Right.
That you
For
turn
sure.
around and you look at, and I'm gonna switch topics real quick, but on the same plane. When you look at like your Second Amendment right? You
Right.
talk about one, that this young kid at the school, they snatched the food away from him, but you talk about you're here for the kids.
Right.
Everything is here for the kids. But in actuality, it's just good lip service. And
Yeah.
this is what the
For sure.
politicians do. Give good lip service. And so
Right.
you look at, I do it for the kids. Now we're going to switch.
Ever since Uvalde, we've seen mass shootings across this nation, and cops come out and they tell you who died. They tell you who the shooter was. They tell you what the motivation was. And they do it all within 24 hours. Hell, they do it all within a few hours. And some of them show you the body cams that day. You saw that in Tennessee. You saw that in Chicago. You saw that in California. And you see it all the way all across this country. But you don't see it here. And you don't see it here because there's one man in a center office in this building that doesn't want you to see what's going on. And he tells his top cop, "You're in control here, man. Keep it quiet. Don't tell people that the people that died in Allen, Texas were mostly minorities. Don't have that conversation because I'm going to go down to the border and blame Biden for some bullshit that's not existent." Right? We can talk about that, but that's not what today's about. Today is about the reality, and the reality is that we are in a more dangerous state because Republicans have made it more dangerous. We are in a more dangerous state because of loose gun laws that allow everybody to walk down Congress with a gun, and a cop can't even ask you one question as to why. I promise you, if it was a black man or a brown man walking down Congress, they'd figure out something, wouldn't they, Ron?
That's right, they sure would.
And so that's what's happening in this country. That's what's happening in this state.
Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts. Hold on. Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts.
Listen to this powerful point by Texas State Representative James Tallarico.
It hasn't even been a year since 19 babies and 2 teachers were massacred in their classroom at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. And we've got dead kids now on the other side of our state in Allen, Texas. Republican politicians in Texas and around the country are banning books in the name of protecting children. Republican politicians here in Texas and around the country are banning drag queens in the name of protecting children. Yet they won't lift a finger when it comes to addressing the number one cause of death for children in the United States, which is gun violence. If you're not doing something about guns, then you don't really care about our kids.
Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts.
Many people argue that prayers aren't cutting it. Prayers are not preventing the next mass shooting. What is your response to that criticism?
Well, those are people that don't believe in an almighty God who is absolutely in control of our lives.
I believe in an almighty God. I'm a person of faith, and I say that's absolute and offensive nonsense. You can't just outsource all of life's challenges and problems to God's mysterious ways. Prayer has to go hand in hand with action. The Holy Quran says God does not change the state of a people till they change themselves. And it's not just the Quran. The Holy Bible that Christian Republicans claim to read says in the Epistle of James, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. So praying to stop gun violence without doing anything to stop gun violence is worthless in the eyes of God.
Now I open the floor.
Go ahead, Z.
Is he frozen?
Yeah, it looked like it. Listen, man. Something needs to be done with the gun laws. Something needs to be done with how you can attain a gun and all of that, right? It's too easy. It just don't make sense. You got mentally ill people who are able to get guns on a whim. You know, you can walk into these gun shows and just buy you a gun, and it's okay. And I think that they're absolutely right. And the one guy who was talking about they don't have faith in God and all that. Bro, it wasn't your kids. I've said this before too. They don't care because it's not hitting home for them. It's not touching their circle. As soon as they touch their circle, though, then you're gonna see some stuff happening. Then it's gonna be a problem. Oh, these mentally ill people, these people, and then you're gonna come up with all these adjectives of all these people and their problems, but it wasn't a problem because it wasn't touching home. That's the problem right there. It's not touching them because they kids in private school, they kids, off, in boarding school somewhere or something like that, well protected, right? It's these they don't care about us at all.
Am
Go
I
ahead,
still
Z.
frozen?
No, you good. Go ahead.
No, I just like the fact that the brother in the back was like, "You got that right." That was the best part of the second video, because he said if some black and brown people came in here, he was like, "Ain't that right, Ron?" He was like, "You got that right." Like, that was the brother. But I love the fact of, and we can keep it real simple, just like this is, you want to ban, like the man said. I had the conversation with this, and I had these stats for this one of my friends too, is the number one cause of death for kids is gun violence. But you want to ban books and you want to ban drag shows that you cannot take your kid to. You could choose not to take your kid to the drag show. I had to explain to people, they said they teach it in our schools. I teach at high school. There's nothing like this being taught, like at all. Literally just talked to a history teacher, and I said, "Are y'all teaching CRT?" And no, not at all. My daughter's school, I ain't seen no books that they put out with no men on men and women on women. I don't know where this stuff is happening. I don't know where they speak this out. Their school shootings has happened everywhere, in every state, all across this country. And for people to really have a problem with that is an issue for me. And then I love the hopes and prayers. Oh, I love that. They don't believe in a mighty God. You're telling me that when it did, like I took trouble for, I believe it at the. If something happened to my family or one of y'all, and somebody say that it was God's will, I'm fighting them. Something violent like that, I'm fighting them, bro. Yeah. Like I'm literally gonna fight them. God forbid. Oh, I'm freezing. God's will, we're going to.
I mean,
I'm done, P.
when I playing the clips, and so there's 3 points that I want to make in it, right? 3 points. First clip, everything that he was saying was absolutely right.
Right.
But it goes back to at the
Mhm.
end, he's pointing the blame at the Republicans. Democrats is part of this too.
Yeah.
It ain't just Republicans. They ain't the only ones. So that's point number one. Number two, of the thoughts and prayers. I get so sick and tired of thoughts and prayers when someone violently just lost their kid.
Right.
And we know, at the end of the day, kids are the most precious individuals on the face of this earth. These kids are not able to literally defend themselves.
Right.
And you're giving families thoughts and prayers. And I feel that it is so disgusting because these politicians, they've seen it on CNN, MSBC, Fox, all of these news channels of them making fun of them, saying the same thing over and over again. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. They've seen this.
Right.
But it's so disgusting that they know they've seen it and still keep doing it.
Right. And I honestly, I don't want their prayers.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I don't
not.
want those. Yeah, I'm good.
And then in the last clip, that he had the audacity to sit up here and say that if you don't believe in like our Christian ways, low key then forget you.
Right. Right.
No, that's where I have a problem is because the United States opened up their doors to every ethnicity. There's tons of different religions that is here in the United States. Why can't you respect the next person in their religion?
Right.
But you want people to respect yours. You're willing to fight and kill off of your religion because you want people to respect yours, but you can't respect the next person. The audacity.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or to think, like you said, to think that honestly, this is a Christian country is absolutely wild. Like that's another thing that's wild to think of. Yeah. Yeah.
But you see, they constantly try to reinforce it. God bless America.
Right.
Before they end the speech, God bless America.
Right. Right. Which
God?
What God is that? Because I want to know.
But even you have these politicians, make sure in speeches and when they talk, they bring up them being a Christian. Enforce the Christian way. Me as a Christian, or us as Christians, they constantly enforce that.
Or say Christians, they'll say like, because most of them ain't going to church. Most of them ain't no practicing whatever they're not really about that. So I'll say my faith and let put two and two together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like Trump. Trump ain't never been to no church, dog. Trump don't go to nobody's church. Let's knock it off.
Yeah, he moved people out of the way so he can take
this is all I'm saying. This is no disrespect to nobody. Do you understand? It ain't no disrespect. You've been married 3-4 times and cheated and all this stuff, got multiple kids. I don't want to go to your church, dog. I ain't going there.
Oh, you got
Hey,
problems.
who's your pastor? Who's your pastor?
Who is consulting you? Who is your counselor? That's funny.
Boy.
That is.
All right, man. It's about that time for us to get up out of here. Any last words, fellas?
No, but next week, I definitely want to get into this John Morant topic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Sounds good.
I'm with that. Hey man, peace to y'all, man. Have a good week, man.
Same to y'all, man. Keep your heads up, man, and keep it on the swivel. You don't know who out there.
Absolutely.
Facts.
I want to leave you guys with this clip.
Uh-oh.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you guys this. What do you consider privilege?
Not having to worry about whatever. You know what I mean? You just know it's going to happen for you, right? That's privilege to me. That person who don't have to worry about if they can lose their job, where their meal gonna come from. That's privilege to me. You know what I mean? Those that they just don't have no care in it because they just know, oh, it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Not it's gonna happen because they have the faith that it's gonna work out. They just know it's gonna happen because I'm in the position that I'm in.
Right. I'll piggyback on that and say that I think that privilege is benefiting from something that you had nothing to do with, that you didn't have the talent, education, insight, or anything for, that you're benefiting from that just from being you or from something someone else did.
For me, if you look at a lot of the clips that we played tonight, somewhere in there is an underline of privilege. A lot of things that we talked about tonight is an underline of some sort of privilege. I want to leave everybody on this clip.
Privilege is characteristically invisible to people who have it. White people often believe that they have earned the privileges that they enjoy, or that everyone could have access to those privileges if they just worked hard enough. Now, privilege doesn't assume a life of ease and comfort. It is a statement of fact, rather than a label or a judgment. Unlike black people, white people are frequently unaware that they are members of the dominant group due to the privilege of being able to be seen as an individual, rather than as stereotypes. Privilege is characteristically invisible.
That's good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to leave you guys on that.
To post that on Instagram tomorrow.
Fellas, have a wonderful week. See you guys next week. We're going to get into the John Morant topic next Monday. So, ladies and gents, make sure you guys tap in.
Peace.